Okay, I think I am live now. Hi everyone. In this video, I'm gonna go over the HTML and CSS attributes, the padding. Built a page to show you how they work and how to use them. So I'm gonna go to. I'm already in Visual Studio Code now. So I'm gonna right-click, open with live server. It's locally now on a live server extension, and that's how it will look like on the internet if I upload it to my web hosting, to my website. So if you look, I have two boxes here, the red box and the light purple box. So I have on box one, my phone shows online. Okay, so this is the style that styled this web page, and it's this one here, pads, colors, and what we have here. Without this style sheet, I'll show you how it's gonna look like. So if without this one, without using the style sheet, this is how it looks like. Without adding any styles, without to the cascading style sheet. So sure it's related to the HTML document. So now we're gonna talk about three elements: the border, the padding first, second border is box one, this one here, box one, and it's got actually the element. I'm gonna say it's the phrase. This phrase. This is the box dash one. This is the element, and this is element. If I want to change the padding for back to the style sheet, I want to change the padding. So it's 10 now, right? It's 10. I'm gonna change it to 20. You see the padding, it looks like it's getting to the it's giving you that padding from the top. So that's the padding 30 from the top. That's the way it was before. It's gonna go up, it's gonna diminish this distance. So basically it's the space between this one and this one. Now that in this case the padding is it looks like it's the top padding, but there are four padding: the top, the bottom, left, right, and we can change them here. So if we add, let's say, the padding 10, you can add the four numbers: 10 pixel, and then 20 px. So 10 top, bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna assume 10, 20 bottom. The top, I think this is the top, the left. So each one of those, I cannot remember exactly which one goes with which side, but if you add four, each one there. So this is for the padding. Now we're gonna talk about the border. So this is the border here, and initially we have it as a black border. Let's say instead of making it 20, I'm gonna make it 10, and let's see how 10. So you see it becomes thinner now. If I make it 5, it's gonna be thinner. It's much thinner now. Let's make it 40. Okay, so now it's dotted. Let's say you don't want the dots. You want this is the style. You want the style solid. It means no dots, just straight, no space in between. We come here and we change the dotted to solid, and let's see how it's gonna change. And again, the color, obviously, you can change. Let's say it's black now. If you want to change it to green, you go back to the black color here and you change it to green. You choose this one here, and it's changed to green. So this is the border. Now we're gonna talk about the margin. and it's what's surrounding it. So the margin in this case is 40. Just want to see how it changes. So let's say the margin is 40 now, from 40 to 50. Okay, so let me change it to 100 to see how it. Okay, so it looks like the margin from the top. I have the feeling it's from the top, yeah. The again, I don't know. You have four values, and I'm not sure each value corresponds to what, to which side. But you can go to the documentation, like the I can pull it now. Let's see, the W3 school, and okay. So let's look at the margin to see what it shows. Cannot get it. Let me see. W3 school. This is a good reference here, guys, if you want to go back to for the documents. Okay, so let's see. Let's search for the margin, just to see what side corresponds to which one. CSS margin. Let's see this one here. Okay, so you can use margin dash top, margin dash right, margin bottom, margin left. Okay, we can use those. So let's go back to the red box here. So let's use margin top, 100. So basically it's from the top of the parent, from the container, and this is the main page is the container of this one here, of this box here. So we we specified the margin. Okay, margin left. Let's give it 4, and it was right on a border. Now we gave it 10, but we can give it 20, and it gets, if you want more space here. Let's try the 50. You see, so this is the left margin. You can now let's see the bottom. The bottom margin, it's between this one and it's. Okay, let's use 20 pixel. 20 pixel. Okay, so this is, it's this one, elements, or the element and its parent, its container. So let's change it to 40 to see how it changes. 40, 50. Let's make it 100. You see this one, this is increasing now. So if we change it to 1 pixel, it's gonna get very close, but I think what's happening here? Oh, okay, I see we have the box sizing border. I went over the box sizing border box in a previous video I did yesterday. And this will take into account only the width and the height of the box. It's not gonna take into account the padding on a border, because they will be within the width and the height of the box. So I'm gonna remove it. This way we can have more changes, more variation to reflect what we're adding. So I'm gonna remove it. So X. Okay, so now it's gonna be different. So let me, so let's, so the margin bottom, let's see, let's make it 10. Let's make it 20. Okay, let me see, margin 40, let me see, let me make it 50, 100. Okay, so you see it's bigger here, so this is 100 here. And let's try the margin right to see what we get. Margin right, right. So the margin right is 50. It's from this side here, and it gave it. Okay, we moved the margin left. That's why it made it. The margin bottom, top. So sometimes they work against each other. So that's why you wanna remove. Let's remove the margin top to see what's gonna happen to the red box. If we remove the margin box. Okay, so it gave it this. Let's remove the margin bottom here. This the bottom. Okay, so if you look here, guys. Okay, if you're joining us, I want to welcome you onto this live stream now on Saturday night. My name is George Shamoun, and CSS element or HTML element, because HTML and CSS they work together. So on this page, I created to see how it affects it when we change the border, and we're changing the padding, and we're talking about the margin. So basically, again, I want to go over the border. The border, everything in a is a box. It's gonna take the shape of a box, either rectangular box or square box, but it's not gonna show you unless change. If I ignore the style sheet now on this document here, let's add one here. I'm gonna ignore it. And this is how the HTML document looks like. If you look at it, it's very simple and it doesn't have any style or anything. So once we add CSS elements to it, it's gonna get styled, like the colors, the borders, the how it looks like. It's gonna give it some kind of design and style to the web page. So if you look at the, let me go back and change it. Let's connect it again to the style sheet, to the cascading style sheet. And look how it's gonna change now. It's gonna give it the style again. So it gave it the style. So with HTML, they work with CSS, they work together. Without CSS, you're not going to see style on an HTML page. They work together, but you have to understand the basics of HTML and CSS and how they work together. It's right here. To answer them now while explaining those topics about the padding, border, and the margin. So let me see. Okay, so we're looking at we're gonna target this box, the light purple box. We're gonna make some changes to it. Let's say we want to change the border. Okay, so but first let me show you the how it looks like, how the CSS style looks like. So this is box 2, and the way you style it or target it in HTML and CSS, uh, you just add the dot here for the class because it's class box 1. Let me show you how it looks like here. So I gave it classes box and box 2. So since it's a class box 2, you can use the box 2 to target this element here. So we go back to the CSS, and we can go here and change it. Let's say we can change it to green. I come here, green. Let's give it a yellow color, and it's yellow now. So, but in this case, we're talking about the padding, which is the space between the element. This is the element, margin is here. Okay, so let's say we cannot change the padding from 20 pixel to 30 pixel. Let's see how it affects it here. To 40 now. 40. Padding 10. Padding left. Let's say padding. Yeah, padding left. 0. Let's say we gave it 0. 0 pixel. 0 pixels. You see, we didn't give it any space here. Let's change the top padding. Padding top. Let's give it 30 pixel. Padding bottom 40 pixel. Okay, it looks like it didn't change. Yeah, these work against each other, so you have to use either the bottom or the top, I think. Yeah, so let's remove this. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of changes. Actually, let me see. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about, let's talk about the border. We can change it to a solid line. So instead, this is the border here, black dotted, and the width is in 10 pixel. So I'm gonna change the color to red, and it's changed to red. Now I don't want the dots, I want it to be solid. So I'll change the style from dotted to solid. And now it became solid here. And the thickness, we can change the thickness. We have 10 pixel now. Let's say you want to make it thicker. You can add, let's say 20 pixel, make it. So it's thicker now. You want to make it thinner. Let's use 5 pixel. You see, it's now let's use, so if you look here, we gave it the padding left 0. This is why it's 40 pixel. You see how the patty, top, right, bottom, left. Okay, guys, we can use, it looks like we can use the margin for 20 pixel and 40 pixel. So this is the margin here with, and it starts from the top. The container. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Okay, so you can use the margin, guys. The margin is 40 pixels. If the 4 values are representing the top, right, bottom, left of the object. So if you're looking at the w3schools.com, and this is how you use margin. You have 4 values, top, right. So this is the top. With the first value is the top one, and I'm gonna assume one value. Okay, so if all the 4 is on the 4 sides, so okay, let's see if this applies to the padding. The padding top. Yeah, the same thing with the padding. If you use padding top, right, bottom, left. Also, you don't have to use the top, right, bottom, left. You can use padding, but you specify the values here. The values represent the 4 sides. Third one is the bottom, and the fourth one is the left. So basically, they're starting from the top, going clockwise, top, right, bottom, left. You can use that for the padding and the margin. So back to our diagram here, actually to the web page, not the diagram. So let's look at one box on the page. I'm gonna remove the second box. So let's say Going back to the style sheet, to the main page. Okay, let's see. Let me give this, remove this, give it number 5. Okay, so actually, let's remove it. I'm gonna remove it totally, you know. So I'll be left with box. Gonna remove box 2 from the styling sheet. I'm gonna remove the title. Gonna remove the title, guys. Let's remove the title. Okay. So this is pure, it's the box, nothing style sheet. Okay, so if you look at it now, let's remove the margin. Okay, and let's remove the padding. Okay, and let's make the border 1 pixel. Let's make it black. Let's make it 5 pixel. Okay, so I have this red box now, and it's got this in it. This is box 1, and I only gave it width and a height. If you look at the style sheet here, I gave it a background color of red, and width 400 pixel and height 100, and we gave it a border of solid black 5 pixel, and see. Okay, the padding, guys, is in this case the default is gonna be the left and the top if you don't give it a padding. So basically there is no space between the top and the left of the element. So now let's give it some padding. Padding. Okay, if we're gonna give it padding left from the left side, padding left, let's say we gave it 20 pixels, and if you notice it moved, this is 20 pixels here, it moved 20 pixels, but it stayed close to the top. There is no space between the top, between the border and the element, which is this one here. So let's give it some we can give it padding top, padding top. Let's say we give it 30 pixels. So this is 30 and this is 20. So let's try to give it padding from the bottom to see if it changes. Padding bar, let's see, 30, see, 50. Looking at the padding